I want you to consider not shooting in RAW. Now, that might sound crazy if you're a person that wants the very best, wants the top quality, wants the very best video that you could possibly shoot. And I hear you. I want that too. I want my video to look pristine, right? A lot of people are into kind of those vintage lenses, that have character. I'm not really into those kind of character-y lenses. I like everything to look nice and crisp and beautiful and sharp. And so shooting in RAW is something that I really enjoy because it gives you that nice kind of crisp, high fidelity look. But I want you to consider for a minute that RAW might not be the very best thing for you to shoot depending on your project. It might be, because there's a lot of great things about RAW. One of them being that it's not very compressed. And you'll notice that I say not very because all RAW is compressed. It's just using a different kind of compression than other video formats, and it tends to look visually a lot better. However, there are a lot of not so great things about shooting in RAW. So I want you to consider what is right for you. Let's just talk about the realities of shooting in RAW for a minute. First of all, you need a camera that actually shoots in RAW. So, you need to buy some kind of fancier camera, right? They don't make like a prosumer camera that is really great at shooting RAW. You're going to have to get into something like a Blackmagic camera or like a higher end mirrorless camera, something that actually has RAW recording, and that usually comes with a price tag. So that's a big reason for a lot of us not to shoot RAW anyway, is just it's cost prohibitive. But let's say you sprang for a camera that shoots RAW. The next crushing reality of shooting with RAW is that the files are freaking huge, as the scientists say. You're not going to be buying like a 64 gig or even 128 gig memory card when you're shooting RAW. You're looking at getting an SSD or like a CFast card or some kind of proprietary memory card for your camera. And those are not cheap. And then you get into like file transfer speeds. Because when you're shooting a video, you are sending a whole bunch of data every second through whatever cable or whatever interface that you're using to connect to your storage media. It takes a lot of processing power from your camera, a lot of speed through a cable if you're using it. You have to have a lot of space on whatever media you're using. And then when you transfer it to your computer, not only do you have to have lots of space on your computer, lots of hard drive space, but you also need to have a fast interface for that, which are some upgrades that we've had to make here at the studio. Because, when you shoot an hour of RAW footage and it comes in and it's 300 gigabytes or something, then that's a decent amount of transfer time, especially if you don't have a fast cable. And so shooting in RAW has its own kind of practical implications here. It takes more space, takes more time, takes more money. Everything is more when it comes to RAW. But you may be saying, worth it. It's worth it. I'm willing to fork out that extra time and money because that image that I get is pristine. And you're right. A RAW image, everything else being equal, is pretty much always going to look better than video that wasn't shot in RAW. And that's just because of the technicalities of compression. To way oversimplify this, if you had 4 different pixels and they were 4 different colors, RAW would give you 4 different colors. Whereas other types of compression might average out the colors that are kind of similar to each other. And there's a whole bunch of other complicated things when it comes to compression. But basically, overall, you get a better quality image with RAW. But something that I would challenge you to ask yourself and to maybe even test out is how much better is that image? Is it so much better that it's worth all the extra time and energy and money? Or is it just kind of technically better if you zoom way, way in, you can kind of see a difference? I hear this all the time. People are obsessed with getting the RAW image, right? Not only shooting RAW, but being obsessed with having RAW throughout the entire process of post-production, through compositing and color grading and everything. Let me show you something that I think is probably going to blow your mind. Here I have an image that we've shot in RAW. This is just brought into a timeline and color managed, and then I just pushed up the gain a little bit on this. But I've done nothing else fancy to it, no sharpening, nothing like that. And if I zoom way in here, to 300%. We'll see that we have a pretty nice looking image here. There's a little bit of grain, but there's nice details here. We can see the details on his face and in his eyes, even the little hairs on the edges of his ear. Let's even zoom in farther here. Let's zoom into like 500%, okay? 500%. So you can see it in YouTube for the cheap seats, right? This is the raw image. Now, I'm going to switch to this image that has been transcoded into ProRes. So it's no longer raw. It's taking the log image from that raw file and transcoding it, making a new video file. And here's the difference. Here's before, here's after. See the difference? Before, after, before, after. There's no difference. There is no difference. I'm at 500%. Check this out. Let's zoom way in here. Way in here. Here's before, here's after. There's no difference. There's no difference. It's the same image. This is at 1,000%. Now, if we were to look at these scopes, all right, if I were to open up the scopes, we can see right here on this top, we can see there's a little bit of difference in the scopes. Okay, so here's before, here's, this is raw, and this is the transcode. So it is actually clipping some information here. So we are technically losing a little bit of information, all right? So I'm not gonna argue that it's the exact same amount of information. There are differences, all right? But tell me the difference. You don't notice it. It's not a practical difference. Yet the raw image is a lot more intense pretty much throughout the entire workflow. Raw, a lot of the time from a camera, doesn't have any kind of resizing just because of the way that raw works and the way it's recorded. So a lot of the time you're stuck with a bigger resolution. So we've shot a lot of stuff with the 6K Pocket Cinema camera from Blackmagic, and we have to shoot in 6K if we want raw. There is no only shooting in HD or anything like that. And so what's crazy is this image that we just looked at, that's actually a 6K image versus a UHD image. And there's still no difference. We can even take this to the extreme, okay? So let's grab a still. This is the raw image. I'm just gonna grab a still like this and play it back. So here's the playback, there's no difference, okay? Now let's go down to, so this is UHD ProRes. This is UHD H.265. So this is very compressed, very, very compressed. Let's get our wipe going here. Zoom this in so we can see. There is a little bit of a difference here. We can see it's kind of averaging out the colors here. It's a little bit blocky, right? But this is the thing, like you would never do this. You would never compress your image this much and have it be like the master image that you're editing. And it still only shows up as a big difference at 600%. At 200%, which is like as big as most people are ever gonna watch it, you can see a difference, but it's not huge. It's not massive. And this is the worst it's ever gonna get right here. That's absolutely crazy to me. How obsessed we are with quality and getting everything to be just pristine when it really, really does not matter that much. Whether you shoot raw or whether you're shooting like in ProRes or even a high bit rate, kind of more compressed format, does it make a difference? Yes. Is it worth all of the trouble? Sometimes. If you're shooting something with a high dynamic range, that means that if there is a massive difference between the brightest thing in your shot and the darkest thing in your shot, chances are raw is going to be a little bit nicer to you, and it's going to give you more information in the highlights and the shadows. However, if you have a camera that shoots in log in a somewhat big color space, then I would argue that 9 times out of 10, you would not see the difference between the log and the raw. You have to really start compressing things before you start to see a difference. So if you're shooting like ProRes 422 or like a nice quality codec like that versus raw, you'll never see the difference. You'll never see it. Now, if you're watching this and you're a visual effects professional that works on Hollywood movies and does high-end green screen and rotoscoping and that kind of stuff, you're probably gonna be like, well, actually, all of the major studios use RAW, and that's I'm not talking to you. I'm talking for the 99% of us that just want to make cool videos. We want them to look really nice. And we're shooting our travel vlogs in RAW. There's no reason for it. You don't need to do that. And even when you are going to do some heavy visual effects or heavy color grading, you can totally use transcoded footage that's in a different format that isn't RAW, and you can even use footage that is lower resolution. The time and energy that it takes to wait for your effects to cache for playback, to preview stuff, to render stuff is enormous if you're using 6K or 8K RAW, even 4K RAW. So you want to know a little dirty secret? Professionals that know what they're doing and do this on a regular basis, a lot of the time they'll down-res those VFX shots and they'll favor a format that actually plays back really well, because literally no one is going to see the difference unless they zoom in 1000%, and even then it's not that big, especially if you're not going to see this in a theater projected in 8K. Most of us are making videos for YouTube to be watched on somebody's phone or maybe even on their big TV, which these days is generally a UHD TV. And so if you can't see the difference at UHD or zoomed in 200-300%, nobody's ever going to know the difference. So this is your permission. You don't need to shoot RAW probably most of the time, and you definitely don't need to use RAW all the way through your workflow. Even if you're using visual effects, even if you're doing color, I promise you it's really going to be okay. Now, you might say, up. RAW gives you the flexibility to adjust your white balance and your exposure in post. And so that is a great reason to use RAW. I'm about to absolutely just like destroy your worldview. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about what's about to happen to you. If you use the tools on the color page in DaVinci Resolve and you're color managing it and you're using a high quality log image and you adjust the white balance with a temperature slider, you adjust your exposure, especially if you use these like HDR wheels here, which like this exposure slider will let you adjust your exposure. This will give you identical results to adjustments that you make in the RAW palette. Like 99% of the time. If you don't believe me, shoot a test. The reason I know this is we've tested this. Set up a scene with your camera and overexpose it and underexpose it. Change the white balance and do all of that kind of stuff. Bring in the same scene with different white balances, different exposures and everything that's shot in RAW, and then shoot it in ProRes or transcode the RAW or something, and try to make an adjustment in the RAW palette that you can't make just in the color page using the color wheels. You won't be able to find it. It's the same tools in a different wrapper. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, you don't know what you're talking about because RAW uses the raw data and Resolve uses it in a different way. It's accessing the image at different parts in the pipeline. Maybe so. However, the result is the same, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't give you a better result, who cares? That's my point here, is maybe there are some technical differences that I'm not aware of. I have looked into this, but maybe there are some. Even if that's true, it's irrelevant because it doesn't change the output. The only thing that matters with your image is, does it look good when you render it? Doesn't really matter how you got there. Doesn't really matter what tools you used. Do you like your image when you rendered it? And if you're somebody who's new to this and you're like, dude, RAW and settings and compression and color spaces and oh my gosh, it makes my head spin. Here's the bottom line. You don't need RAW. You don't need to shoot RAW. In fact, there's a lot of situations where you don't even need to shoot log, but that's for another day. Shooting with a good high quality camera that gives you a great log recording is plenty good for 99.9% of things. So don't waste your time and energy and space shooting RAW when you don't need to, especially if this is stressing you out and it's causing trouble in your workflow. This gets in the way of you making stuff. I talked to a guy the other day that was like, gosh, I shot all this stuff in RAW because I heard that it was better. And now I have these huge files that I can't play back, and it's so frustrating. But I don't want to destroy the quality, and so I don't know what to do. And I said, bring them into Resolve and convert them all to something like ProRes. You can even downscale them if you want to, and no one is ever going to notice. Then you'll still have plenty of information to play with to color grade your amazing, beautiful video. And the big helpful thing is that it will actually be done and actually exist, and you get to actually create something instead of doing the most technical, high quality thing ever and then never touching it. So there you go. There's my hot take. I don't know about shooting raw. Might not be for you. In fact, I think it's probably not for most of us. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that we're actually creating. Shooting raw might be a part that you really love about your workflow, or it could be something that absolutely just throws a wrench into your workflow. Workflow is probably the most important thing when it comes to being a creator and actually creating things, because it's the path that you take to actually make stuff. And me and my team are putting together a lot of really amazing resources to help you have a better, more practical, easy, less confusing, less frustrating workflow so that you're not lost and you can actually make cool videos. There's going to be a link down in the description where you can learn a little bit more about what we're doing. I'm really excited for you to check that out and maybe work together on something, huh? That'd be cool. If you want some more workflow wisdom, there's a video on that right there. All you got to do is click on it and you can just you can keep on trucking. We can keep this party going. Thanks for being here and considering this matter of importance with me. Really appreciate that.